Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories coming up on today's show. The RCMP, Cypress Health Region, Ministry of Social Services, Ministry of Justice, Chinook School Division, and the Holy Trinity School Division have joined forces and launched the Southwest Hub. The story of the Canadian Pacific Railway and its ties to Swift Current were in the spotlight during the official launch of a new video. Scenes such as this will be more common at Great Plains College, following the signing of a new agreement between the post-secondary institution and the Swift Current Robotics Club. Thanks for joining us here today. Helping youth and families at risk here in the Southwest is the focus of a new program. We have more in today's top story. The RCMP, Cypress Health Region, Ministry of Social Services, Ministry of Justice, Chinook School Division, and the Holy Trinity School Division have joined forces and launched the Southwest Hub. The program is spearheaded by the Southwest Regional Intersectoral Committee and is designed to reduce crime while enhancing community safety and wellness and assisting youth and families at risk across the region. Courtney Reynolds is the Southwest RIC coordinator and says similar initiatives are already underway across Saskatchewan, after launching in Prince Albert several years ago.
In 2010, a group from Prince Albert went to visit Scotland that had a similar approach to dealing with their increased crime rate. And when they came back, they were really impressed with this model. And so they decided to implement it in PA. And everybody has just been so impressed with the response the community has had and the decrease in some of their stats and their crime rates. And so it's really taken off provincially. There's many communities now that are developing their own hubs and looking at it as an opportunity to collaborate and work together.
A concept which is welcomed by the Chinook School Division. As the second largest entity in the province, the Southwest is similar to other areas where youth and families may need assistance at some level. And the Southwest Hub will bring these issues to the forefront on a weekly basis.
Societies have worked in silos. We've had our own departments and our own agencies, and we haven't necessarily looked to the collaboration to the degree that the hub would bring forward. So I would see that as a very important concept that is being built rather than folks saying, that's not my department or that's not my area. We have a commitment where we're going to work together and ensure that families have the services that they want. As well, the weekly meetings for only an hour, very specific, very direct, and you report back the next week. That's a much quicker turnaround than perhaps some of our more dated referral kinds of engagements that we may have had in the past.
Partnering organizations will all work together for the well-being of the youth and families in question, with the utmost in privacy mandated by the province. The Southwest Hub is one of 9 programs across the province, with other communities showing interest in the initiative as well. Prince Albert was the only hub to receive provincial funding for its project, while other centers have now come together on their own for the betterment of their community. Another installment in the Stories of the Great Southwest video series was launched at the Swift Current Museum, this time featuring a familiar face from the Southwest. As the city of Swift Current marks its centennial this year, the CPR is one of several cornerstones in the community's history. The story of the Canadian Pacific Railway and its ties to Swift Current were in the spotlight during the official launch of a new video, the CPR, the foundation of Swift Current. The evening presentation at the Swift Current Museum attracted history buffs along with friends and family of Archie Green. Green is a former telegraph operator with CPR and shared his experience with the crowd. Green started his career with the CPR in 1952 at the age of 15 in Prince Albert, working as a messenger, and then transferred to Swift Current in 1955, where he worked as a telegraph operator until his retirement in 1991. And as he shared his stories with the crowd, he noted one memorable client in his early days in Prince Albert, former Prime Minister John Diefenbaker.
Oh yes, because it was just 2 doors down the street. up above the Bank of Montreal in Prince Albert. And he used to get messages, and we'd deliver them up there too.
Did you ever actually meet him?
Oh yes, yeah, he'd come in and he'd write out his telegrams and things like that at the counter. Like I say, he didn't have real good writing, big writing, but it wasn't real good writing. So, but him and my boss there, they were pretty good friends.
He further adds that the loss of passenger train service throughout the Southwest really changed the landscape of how many families spent time together traveling.
In 1946, we went from Prince Albert to Frederick, New Brunswick by train. Our whole family did. And, you're cooped up, but you're not cooped up because as kids we could move around on the train. Of course, we brought our own lunch and stuff like that because, everybody was trying to save money. But it was a good trip. And I think that if families can do that, where the kids are not in a car, they're kind of strapped down now and they can't move around. And so I think we lose something by that.
And along with learning more about Swift Current CPR connection and the importance of the rail line for all Canadians, the video debut spurred questions from the crowd, while taking some back in time with their own memories of working with the CPR. Alistair Buddy McEwen worked with the CPR for 16 years in Swift Current in the rail yard and says taking the train was an event for many, while bringing more people into the community on a regular basis.
The Swift Current Indians were a very popular hockey team back there in the 50s, and that old Citizens Rink would fill right up with hockey fans, and they'd run a train out to Simi to pick fans up any place. The train would stop at a railway crossing or by a farm or anything, pick the people up and bring them into town here.
The CPR, Foundation of Swift Current, is one of several videos in the Stories from Saskatchewan's Great Southwest series, produced in partnership with SWTV News and the Swift Current Museum, and has been a great drawing card for new visitors to the museum over the past several months.
People are coming and they've heard about these things and they want to come and check one out, whether it's a lunchtime program or an evening event or our new program, History by the Pint, which is a happy hour program that kicks off every third Wednesday at 5:30 in the evening. So, we're slowly developing a loyal little following here, and people are excited about the things that we're doing.
The next installment in the Stories from Saskatchewan's Great Southwest series will be launched by SWTV News and the Swift Current Museum before Swift Current's homecoming weekend. The Swift Current Robotics Club has found a new home thanks to a partnership with Great Plains College. Scenes such as this will be more common at Great Plains College, following the signing of a new agreement between the post-secondary institution and the Swift Current Robotics Club. The two groups have initially signed a one-year deal, giving the Robotics Club a new home and access to the college campus free of charge to build and test new robotics and related equipment. A long-awaited dream for these students.
Well, I think it's a really good experience. Just being here, the college, just being a post-secondary kind of opens up some doors. We get to use all the shops and everything like that. We don't have to kind of move around and do things at home as much.
At the high school, it was basically too sports-oriented of a school for us to be a welcome club there. So then here, a place that's 100% devoted to learning is just the perfect home for our club, even though it's a high school club.
And from the college's perspective, this signifies its continued commitment to the community and education for all students.
For us, we're really inspired by the work that these students do, and they're so interested in technology, interested in learning, and there's no better fit for us to be able to connect with a group like this that is going to allow these students to be exposed to something that they wouldn't otherwise be able to, and it'll inspire them to go on to take a post-secondary education, and maybe that'll be here or somewhere else, but for us, we're just really happy that they're getting the experiences that they are. So to build a robot, I think I'm fascinated watching it, and I'll probably go down and snoop over their kids' shoulders while they're looking at it.
The new partnership is timely, as the Swift Current Robotics Club is off to Calgary in April to compete at their second regional robotics competition. The next 5 weeks will see the team of 10 building a new robot with specifications to the 2014 competition, while learning from their past creations shown in this college demonstration.
With that competition, our goal was basically to shoot frisbees into targets and gain points. This year, the competition is going to be a lot different. We're going to be using about beach ball sized ball to try and throw into targets, and it's going to be a much more team-oriented competition than last year.
Aspiring dreams becoming a reality, thanks to Great Plains College and ongoing support from local sponsors.
It's fabulous for it to be in Swift Current. We're the first team in Saskatchewan, actually the only team in Saskatchewan, and I think it's a really an important thing that can help boost the Southwest Saskatchewan and teach these kids these important technology skills that are going to be able to be used for years to come.
Team Skynet 4497 will construct its 2014 entry over the next 5 weeks before competing in a round-robin event in Calgary April 3rd through the 5th. The winners from that regional event will move on to the World Robotic Championship in St. Louis. The Swift Current Robotics Club hopes to improve on its 8th place finish from 2013. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.